Hey Taurus, so I just sat down to do this reading for you, and honestly, the energy around this topic is intense right now. I'm getting my cards ready, and already I can feel there's something big the universe wants to share about this whole situation with someone in your life and their, let's call it, wandering nature. You know what? Let me just dive straight in because this reading is already pulling me in a specific direction. I'm shuffling my deck and thinking about this person you're dealing with. The one whose true nature might shock you if you really knew the extent of it. Okay, first card coming through, and it's the Seven of Pentacles. Now this is interesting because when we think about promiscuity, we don't usually think about earth energy, but here we are. This card is telling me that you've been investing your time and emotional energy into someone, thinking you're building something solid and long-term. You've been patient, Taurus, so patient. You've been watering this garden, thinking you're going to harvest something beautiful together. But here's what Seven of Pentacles is really showing me about their promiscuous behavior. They're treating relationships like crop rotation. They plant seeds everywhere, tend to multiple gardens simultaneously, and you have no idea how extensive their operation really is. While you're focused on your one beautiful plot of land with them, they're literally farming an entire countryside of connections. The card shows a farmer looking at his crops, and that's exactly what they're doing. Surveying all their options, all their investments in different people. This earth energy is showing me they're incredibly methodical about it too. This isn't some wild, impulsive behavior. They've got systems, Taurus. They know exactly which person to text at which time, which emotional needs each person fulfills, how to compartmentalize their various connections so nobody gets suspicious. Seven of Pentacles energy is patient and calculated, and that's exactly how they approach their promiscuous lifestyle. What really gets me about this card in your reading is that it's revealing their mindset. They genuinely see nothing wrong with diversifying their romantic portfolio. To them, keeping multiple people interested is just smart relationship management. They probably justify it by thinking they're not technically committed to anyone, so they're free to explore. But Taurus, you don't realize how deep this rabbit hole goes. The timing aspect of Seven of Pentacles is crucial here. This card often appears when something has been developing for months, even years. I'm seeing that their promiscuous patterns aren't new. They've been perfecting this approach for a long time. What looks like recent behavior to you is actually a well-established lifestyle they've been living parallel to whatever they have with you. Moving forward, let me pull another card because this story is just getting started. The Knight of Cups is showing up, and oh my God, this is almost too perfect. Knights represent movement, action, someone who's actively doing something, and Cups is emotions and romantic connections. But here's where it gets really revealing about their true nature. Knight of Cups traditionally represents a romantic offer or someone bringing emotional fulfillment, but in the context of promiscuity, this card is showing me how they operate. They're the knight who rides from castle to castle, offering their cup of love to everyone. They've mastered the art of making each person feel like they're receiving something special and unique, when in reality, it's the same cup they're offering to multiple people. This knight energy explains why you probably fell for them so hard initially. They know exactly how to sweep someone off their feet. They've got the romantic gestures down to a science because they've practiced them so many times with so many different people. That beautiful message they sent you last week? They've probably sent variations of it to at least 3 other people this month. What's really wild about Knight of Cups appearing here is that it's revealing their emotional promiscuity goes beyond just physical. They're collecting emotional connections, deep conversations, intimate moments with multiple people simultaneously. They're not just sleeping around, they're emotionally around, creating genuine, seeming bonds with everyone in their rotation. The horse this knight rides represents their momentum in this lifestyle. They're always moving, always seeking the next emotional high, the next person to charm and connect with. Staying still with just one person feels like emotional death to them. They need that constant stimulation of new romantic energy to feel alive. But here's what Knight of Cups is also telling me about why you specifically got caught up in this. You represent something stable they've been craving. Your Taurus energy is like a home base they can return to between their adventures. They probably love how grounded you are, how you provide emotional security, but they have zero intention of giving up their wandering ways for that security. Let me pull the next card, because I need to see what else is hidden about their behavior. Three of Wands appears, and honestly, Taurus, this is getting more revealing by the minute. Three of Wands is about expansion, looking toward distant horizons, having multiple ventures going at once. This card is literally showing me their scope. When I see Three of Wands in a reading about someone's promiscuous nature, it tells me they're not just operating locally. We're talking about someone who maintains connections across different cities, maybe even different countries, dating apps in multiple locations, old flames they keep in touch with from previous places they've lived, vacation hookups they still maintain contact with. Their romantic empire spans way further than you realize. The figure in Three of Wands stands looking out over their domain, and that's exactly what this person does. They survey all their romantic territories regularly. They've got their local connections, their long-distance emotional affairs, their social media flirtations, their work crushes, their gym buddies, who might be something more. It's honestly exhausting just thinking about how much energy they put into maintaining all these different threads. What Three of Wands is revealing about their psychology is that they genuinely believe more is better. They don't see promiscuity as a character flaw. They see it as abundance mindset applied to romance. Why limit yourself to one person when you could experience the unique gifts that multiple people have to offer? That's literally how they rationalize their behavior. This expansion energy also shows me that they're never satisfied with what they have. Even when things are going amazingly well with you, they're already scanning the horizon for new possibilities. It's not about you not being enough. It's about their insatiable need for novelty and variety in romantic experiences. The ships in the distance on this card represent all the connections they're waiting to explore fully. People they've met but haven't pursued yet. Connections they're keeping warm for the right moment. Backup options they maintain just in case their primary situations don't work out. They're always planning their next romantic move while appearing present with you. Now I'm pulling the next card, and it's the Five of Pentacles in Taurus. This is where the reading takes a deeper turn into understanding why they operate this way. Five of Pentacles represents emotional poverty, feeling like there's never enough, operating from a scarcity mindset even while appearing abundant. Here's what this card is revealing about the psychology behind their promiscuous behavior. They're actually operating from a place of deep emotional insecurity. All these connections, all these people they keep in their orbit, it's because they're terrified of emotional abandonment. They've convinced themselves that if they have enough people interested in them, they'll never have to face the pain of being truly alone. Five of Pentacles shows two figures walking past a warm lit window, and that's exactly what they do emotionally. They walk past the opportunity for real, deep, committed love because they're convinced it's not really available to them. Even when you offer them genuine care and commitment, part of them doesn't believe it's real or lasting, so they keep their backup plans active. This scarcity mindset around love makes them hoard romantic connections like someone hoarding food during a famine. They can't let anyone go completely, because what if they need that connection later? What if their primary relationships don't work out? This isn't really about being promiscuous for the fun of it. It's about emotional survival strategy gone wrong. The cold winter energy in Five of Pentacles represents how emotionally isolated they actually feel despite having all these connections. None of these relationships are truly fulfilling because they're all kept at a surface level to maintain the juggling act. They're surrounded by people, but deeply lonely, which drives them to seek even more connections, creating a vicious cycle. What's really sad about Five of Pentacles appearing here is that it shows me they probably do have genuine feelings for you, but their survival programming won't let them fully commit. They're too scared of putting all their emotional eggs in one basket, even when that basket is as solid and reliable as Taurus love. This card is also revealing that their promiscuous behavior is actually depleting them energetically. Managing all these relationships, keeping track of what they've told whom, maintaining different personas for different people. It's exhausting. But they don't know how to stop because the alternative feels too scary. Let me see what else wants to come through. The Hermit just appeared, and this is absolutely fascinating because we usually think of the Hermit as someone who's alone and introspective, but in this context, it's revealing something profound about their secret behavior. The Hermit represents the hidden aspects of their life, the parts they keep completely separate from what they share with you. This card is telling me they've created entire secret worlds that you have no access to. They become a hermit to their authentic self, hiding their true nature behind carefully constructed walls. What the Hermit is showing me is that they probably have whole relationship dynamics that exist in complete isolation from anything you know about. People they see regularly that you've never heard mentioned, ongoing emotional affairs that they've compartmentalized so effectively that they can switch between their different lives seamlessly. The Lantern. The Hermit carries represents how they navigate these dark, secret territories of their romantic life. They've become expert at moving through these hidden connections without leaving traces that would alert any of their main partners. They know exactly how to communicate privately, how to meet discreetly, how to maintain these shadow relationships without detection. But here's what the Hermit is really revealing about the deeper truth. This isolation from authentic connection is slowly killing their soul. All this secrecy, all this compartmentalization, it's disconnecting them from who they really are. They've become so good at being different people to different partners that they've lost touch with their genuine self. The spiritual seeking aspect of the Hermit shows me that on some level, they know their behavior is wrong. There's a part of them that's searching for meaning, for authentic connection, for a way out of the maze they've created. But they're doing that searching alone, in secret, without letting anyone help them or hold them accountable. This card is also telling me that their promiscuous lifestyle has become a spiritual crisis for them, even if they don't consciously realize it. The isolation required to maintain all these deceptions is eating away at their ability to form real, genuine connections with anyone, including potentially with you. Next card, and it's the Four of Swords. And Taurus, this is getting so revealing about how they actually manage to maintain this lifestyle without getting caught. Four of Swords represents rest, planning, strategic thinking, and mental compartmentalization. This card is showing me that they've literally trained themselves to mentally separate their different relationships like they're different rooms in a house. When they're with you, they can completely shut off the mental space that contains their other connections. It's not that they forget about other people, they've just become incredibly disciplined at mental compartmentalization. Four of Swords reveals their strategy for avoiding detection. They probably have specific times and spaces for different people. Maybe they see certain people only on particular days of the week or during specific hours when they know they won't conflict with their time with you. They've created a mental schedule that allows them to give focused attention to each connection without overlap. The meditation aspect of this card shows me they might actually use mindfulness or mental techniques to stay present with whoever they're currently with. It sounds twisted, but they've probably convinced themselves that being fully present with each person justifies maintaining multiple connections simultaneously. But Four of Swords is also revealing the mental toll this lifestyle takes. All this strategic thinking, all this careful planning to avoid getting caught, all this mental energy devoted to maintaining separate compartments, it's exhausting their psyche. They probably need significant downtime to process and organize all their different relationship dynamics mentally. The stillness in Four of Swords also represents periods when they completely withdraw from everyone to get their mental house in order. You've probably noticed times when they seem distant or unavailable, and you might have attributed it to work stress or personal issues. But actually, they're taking strategic breaks to mentally organize their various connections and plan their next moves. This card is telling me that their ability to give you seemingly undivided attention when you're together isn't natural presence. It's practiced mental discipline. They've trained themselves to be fully present with whoever they're currently with, as a way to avoid suspicion and maintain the illusion of exclusive connection. Pulling another card now, and it's the Queen of Swords, and wow, this is about to get very specific about how they handle confrontation and maintain their deceptions. Queen of Swords represents sharp intelligence, clear communication, and the ability to detach emotionally when necessary. This card is revealing that if you ever start asking direct questions about their loyalty or other connections, they become absolutely masterful at redirecting the conversation. Queen of Swords energy means they can slice right through your concerns with logic and reasoning that makes you feel like you're being paranoid or possessive. They probably have responses prepared for almost any question you might ask. If you wonder why they're on their phone so much, they have perfectly reasonable explanations. If you ask about someone they mentioned, they can provide just enough detail to satisfy your curiosity without revealing the true nature of that connection. Queen of Swords shows me they're incredibly intelligent about covering their tracks. What's particularly chilling about this energy is that they can discuss your relationship concerns with complete emotional detachment while appearing caring and understanding. They've learned to separate their logical mind from any guilt or emotional conflict about their behavior. When you bring up your feelings about their suspicious behavior, they can address your concerns intellectually without letting their emotions betray their secrets. The sword this queen holds represents their ability to cut through emotional manipulation, both giving and receiving it. They're immune to guilt trips about their behavior because they've rationalized it so completely in their minds. But they're also skilled at using subtle emotional manipulation to redirect your attention away from topics that might expose them. Queen of Swords is also showing me that they probably have a very sophisticated understanding of human psychology, particularly around jealousy and suspicion. They know exactly how much attention to give you to keep you satisfied, how to time their affection to prevent you from asking too many questions, how to make you feel secure enough that you don't investigate further. This air sign energy reveals that they approach their promiscuous lifestyle almost scientifically. They've studied what works, what doesn't, how to maximize their connections while minimizing risk of discovery. It's not emotional for them, it's strategic. Let me pull another card because I need to understand the full scope of what you're dealing with. The Eight of Wands just flew out of the deck, and Taurus, this card is about speed and multiple things happening simultaneously. And in this context, it's absolutely wild what it's revealing. Eight of Wands represents rapid movement, multiple communications happening at once, and energy flying in all directions. This card is telling me that their promiscuous behavior operates at a pace that would absolutely overwhelm you if you saw the full picture. We're talking about someone who might be maintaining intimate conversations with multiple people throughout a single day. The 8 wands flying through the air represent 8 different relationship threads they're managing simultaneously. While you're having what feels like a deep, exclusive conversation with them, they might literally be responding to messages from 7 other people. The speed of 8 of Wands shows me they're incredibly efficient at juggling these multiple connections. This fire energy reveals that their promiscuous behavior has an addictive quality to it. The rush they get from new connections, the excitement of maintaining multiple romantic interests, the thrill of keeping everyone interested while staying undetected. It's like a drug for them. 8 of Wands energy is about that instant gratification hit they get from romantic novelty. What's really revealing about this card is the communication aspect. 8 of Wands often represents messages, calls, texts flying back and forth. Their phone is probably constantly buzzing with communication from their various connections. They've mastered the art of responding to multiple people throughout the day while making each person feel like they're getting special attention. The landscape in 8 of Wands shows clear skies, which tells me they've become incredibly skilled at keeping their various relationships from creating storms or conflicts. They time their communications perfectly. They know when each person expects to hear from them. They've created systems to prevent their different worlds from colliding. But this rapid fire energy also reveals something important about sustainability. Eight of Wands energy burns bright, but burns fast. This pace of maintaining so many connections simultaneously is not sustainable long-term, and cracks are starting to show in their system, which is probably why this reading is happening right now. Another card is practically jumping out of the deck. It's the Two of Cups, and this is where things get really complex about their psychology. Two of Cups typically represents partnership and mutual connection, but in this reading about promiscuity, it's revealing something much more sophisticated about how they operate. This card is showing me that they don't just collect casual connections, they're actually capable of creating genuine two-way emotional bonds with multiple people simultaneously. This isn't about someone who's just physically promiscuous and emotionally detached. They actually form real emotional connections with their various partners, which makes their behavior so much more complicated. The two figures on this card-sharing cups represents how they can create that feeling of special mutual understanding with multiple people. They probably have inside jokes with each person, shared memories that feel unique and meaningful, emotional intimacy that feels exclusive to each relationship. That's what makes their promiscuous behavior so insidious. It's not empty or meaningless. Two of Cups is revealing that they genuinely care about the people they're involved with. This isn't some sociopathic person collecting victims. They probably have real feelings for you and real feelings for the other people in their life. They've somehow convinced themselves that love isn't finite, that they can authentically love multiple people without it diminishing what they offer each person. The mutual cup sharing in this card shows me they're not just taking from multiple people, they're also giving genuine emotional nourishment to each connection. They remember important details about everyone's lives. They offer real support during difficult times. They celebrate successes and provide comfort during struggles. This emotional generosity is part of what keeps everyone attached to them. What makes Two of Cups particularly significant in this reading is that it suggests their promiscuous behavior isn't driven by inability to connect. It's driven by an overflow of their capacity to connect. They form bonds easily and deeply, and they don't want to limit themselves to experiencing that with just one person. But here's the shadow side this card is revealing. All these genuine connections dilute their ability to go truly deep with anyone. While they can create meaningful bonds with multiple people, none of these relationships ever reach their full potential because their energy is always divided. You might feel incredibly connected to them, but you're only getting a fraction of their full emotional capacity. The next card wants to show me something about consequences, and it's the Ten of Swords. Now this might seem dramatic, but bear with me because this card is revealing something crucial about where this situation is ultimately heading. Ten of Swords represents complete endings, betrayal being exposed, and situations that can't be sustained anymore reaching their natural conclusion. In the context of their promiscuous lifestyle, this card is showing me that their system of maintaining multiple connections is approaching a breaking point. The 10 swords piercing the figure represent all the lies, half-truths, and omissions they've been using to maintain their various relationships. Each sword is a deception that's building toward an inevitable moment when everything comes crashing down. The weight of maintaining so many secrets is becoming unsustainable. What 10 of Swords is specifically revealing about the timeline is that multiple people in their rotation are starting to get suspicious simultaneously. It's not just you having doubts. Other people they're involved with are also starting to piece things together. The card shows dawn breaking on the horizon, which means the truth is about to come to light in a way that can't be denied or explained away. This ending energy is showing me that their promiscuous lifestyle is heading toward a dramatic exposure event. Maybe someone will catch them. Maybe their stories will stop adding up. Maybe people will start comparing notes. 10 of Swords suggests that when the truth comes out, it will be sudden, complete, and devastating to everyone involved. But here's what's really important about 10 of Swords in your reading, Taurus. It's not about you being destroyed by this revelation. The figure pierced by swords represents their situation, not yours. You're being warned so you can protect yourself before the inevitable crash happens. The betrayal aspect of this card confirms that yes, if you knew the full extent of their promiscuous behavior, you absolutely would not give them another chance. We're not talking about minor indiscretions or emotional immaturity. We're talking about systematic deception, multiple ongoing relationships, and a level of dishonesty that would fundamentally change how you view them as a person. Let me pull one more card to see what guidance the universe has for you moving forward. The King of Pentacles appears, and this is actually beautiful energy for you, Taurus, because it's showing me your power in this situation. King of Pentacles represents mastery over material reality, knowing your worth, and making decisions based on practical wisdom rather than emotional attachment. This card is telling me that you have the power to create the stable, abundant love life you desire, but only if you're willing to cut off connections that drain your energy and waste your time. This King energy is reminding you that your love is valuable, your loyalty, your commitment, your emotional investment. These are precious resources that should only be given to someone who treasures them appropriately. King of Pentacles doesn't waste time on ventures that don't provide good returns, and neither should you. The abundance this king represents shows me that when you remove this person and their chaotic energy from your life, you'll actually create space for something much more fulfilling to enter. You're not losing anything real by walking away from someone whose love is scattered across multiple people. You're freeing yourself to receive focused, committed love from someone who values exclusivity. What King of Pentacles is really emphasizing is your ability to make decisions based on facts rather than hopes. The facts about their behavior are becoming clear, even if you don't want to accept them yet. This King energy is encouraging you to trust your practical wisdom over your emotional attachment. The throne this king sits on represents the solid foundation you can build for yourself when you stop trying to build with someone whose foundation is constantly shifting between multiple people. Your Taurus nature craves stability and consistency, and you deserve a love that provides that rather than one that constantly keeps you guessing. Now let me pull a final card to see what the outcome looks like if you make the empowered choice King of Pentacles is encouraging. The Ace of Wands appears, and Taurus, this is such a hopeful way to end this reading because it represents brand new beginnings and passionate new energy entering your life. Ace of Wands tells me that walking away from this complicated situation with the promiscuous person actually opens the door for a completely fresh start in love. This isn't about finding another relationship immediately. It's about rediscovering your own passionate nature that's been dimmed by dealing with someone whose energy is scattered across multiple people. The wand being offered from the divine hand represents a new opportunity for love that will be focused, directed, and exclusive. After dealing with someone whose romantic energy goes in 8 different directions, the concentrated fire energy of Ace of Wands will feel incredibly refreshing and revitalizing. This new beginning energy shows me that you're actually on the verge of understanding what real partnership feels like. The kind where someone's romantic and sexual energy is directed toward building something beautiful with you instead of being divided among multiple people. Ace of Wands promises passion that's undiluted by competing interests. What this final card is really promising is that your standards are about to be elevated permanently. Once you experience what it feels like to be someone's clear first choice, rather than one option among many, you'll never again tolerate the confusion and insecurity that comes with loving someone promiscuous. The creative potential of Ace of Wands shows me that ending this situation actually frees up enormous amounts of your creative and passionate energy that you didn't even realize were being drained. You've been using so much mental and emotional bandwidth trying to figure out their behavior, trying to feel secure in an inherently insecure situation. So Taurus, here's what this entire reading is telling me about your situation. The person you're dealing with is operating at a level of promiscuous behavior that would genuinely shock you if you knew the full extent. We're not talking about someone who occasionally flirts or has wandering eyes. We're talking about someone who maintains multiple ongoing romantic and emotional relationships simultaneously with sophisticated systems for keeping them all separate. Their behavior isn't driven by inability to commit or fear of commitment in the traditional sense. They've actually convinced themselves that their way of loving, scattered across multiple people, is somehow more enlightened or abundant than exclusive partnership. They see monogamy as limitation rather than depth. The cards are making it clear that if you truly understood how extensive their romantic network is, how much emotional energy they invest in other people, how systematically they've compartmentalized their life to maintain these multiple connections, you would not question whether to give them another chance. The answer would be obvious. But more importantly, the cards are showing me that you're actually being protected by this revelation. Walking away from this situation isn't about punishment or judgment. It's about freeing yourself to receive the kind of focused, committed love that matches your Taurus values and desires. Your earth sign nature needs consistency, reliability, and depth in romantic connection. Someone whose energy is constantly scattered across multiple people simply cannot provide those things, no matter how much they care about you or how special they make you feel during the time you have their attention. The universe is basically telling you through this reading that you deserve to be someone's clear first choice, their obvious priority, their focused romantic investment. Not one option among many, not even the best option among many. The only option they want to pursue romantically. So if you needed confirmation about what to do in this situation, the cards have given you a very clear answer. Their promiscuous nature isn't something that will change or improve over time. It's a fundamental part of how they approach romantic connections. And no, if you knew the full extent of it, you definitely wouldn't give them another chance. Trust your Taurus instincts about needing stability and consistency in love, and know that something so much better is waiting for you once you clear this complicated energy from your life.